Points are given at the end of every race, but what happens if you change it up to the end of every lap? This would go in favor of the consistent ones and would hurt an early DNF even more. Will Piastri still be leading, and how far behind is Max Verstappen with his DNF in Austria? There's only one way to find out. Let's get started. First of all, let's make it clear that I went through every lap of the 2025 season to count all the points and add this all together. I really do have too much time, don't I? We all remember the wet and chaotic Australian Grand Prix, where Hadjar couldn't even make it to the start, and Piastri messing up his chance to get a victory at home. Oh yeah, and Lawson was still at Red Bull. By completing the first lap, Lando Norris takes the lead, followed by Max Verstappen and Oscar Piastri. These three go on and grab a lot of points until lap 44, where Piastri makes a mistake that knocks him all the way down. Even though he finished P9 in the race, he manages to stay in third for the championship, as those first laps gained him enough points to stay ahead of George Russell. Compared to the real-life point system, there are 14 drivers who gained points in the opening race. Some had luck and gained points in the early stages of the race, whereas others are lower in the standings even though they finished the race in the top 10. During the Chinese Grand Prix, Max Verstappen gains a handful of points in the sprint, but isn't so lucky in the main Grand Prix. With Piastri in first and Russell in third, Max Verstappen doesn't just lose the second place in the championship, but falls all the way down to P4, where Oscar Piastri overtook him in lap 24 and George Russell in lap 14. Luckily for Verstappen, he gets up to speed well in Japan and manages to race almost the entire race in first,
between the two rivals for the championship,
which gains him a lot of points to get back up to third in the championship. Now only 200 points behind Piastri. Keep in mind that's just 8 laps in the lead, so it's not that much. We move further into the season as we go to the Bahrain Grand Prix, race number 4 it is. Piastri leads the way but is still second in the championship. This stays the way it is until both McLarens finish lap 28, where they are equal on points, both gaining 3,611 points since the start of the season. One lap later and Oscar Piastri takes the championship lead to his side of the garage. At this point there's only one driver who hasn't scored a single point yet. Do you know who it is? Let me know in the comments down below. From the start till the end of the Miami Grand Prix, Jack Doohan managed to get 44 points in total. That's 44 more points than he did in real life. Unfortunately, this still wasn't enough, so he was replaced by Franco Colapinto. Colapinto making his debut in Imola for Alpine, where he scored a total of 27 points. Still behind Doohan, but not lost in the championship. The driver who didn't score a point until the 11th lap of the Spanish Grand Prix is of course Gabriel Bortoleto. With a rough start to the season, he has to wait a total of 9 races before ever hitting the top 10 in a single race. In that race he gains a total of 11 points. Not 0 anymore, but still last in the championship. As we are getting closer to the halfway point of this season, Gabriel Bortoleto took the opportunity to gain a lot of points at the Austrian Grand Prix, where Max Verstappen and Kimi Antonelli collided on the first lap, bringing his total up to 367. Talking about Max Verstappen, he lost a lot of points in that Grand Prix. This is the gap before and after. That's not good for the Dutchman. As Hülkenberg steps into the podium for the first time ever in his career, F1 has reached a halfway point of the season. But there are still 2 Grand Prix that have been after, the Belgian Grand Prix and the Hungarian Grand Prix. Now that they are done as well, we can take a look at what the difference is between this point system and the real life point system. Of course, I'm not gonna share them all at once, because everybody needs to know who's last and who's first. But if you already guessed, then you probably guessed correctly that Jack Doohan is the driver in P21. 44 points in our point system and 0 in the real life. In 20th, that's also the same as real life, we have Colapinto. He has 49 points, just ahead of the one that he replaced, but still 0 points in real life. After that, we go on to P19 with 249 points, 200 more than P20. It's Oliver Bearman, same as real life, surprisingly. But what happens now is something that nobody would have guessed. In P18 we got Yuki Tsunoda. 827 points, gained most of his points actually during his time at Racing Bulls. P17 with 980 points goes to Gabriel Bortoleto. He still has a long way to go if he wants to make it to the top 10. And Carlos Sainz gets P16 with 999 points. So far, nothing has changed. And of course, I say this with one reason only, because in P15, in the real life point system with 20 points is Liam Lawson. But for us, is Nico Hülkenberg with 1090 points. He gained a lot during the British Grand Prix, but it wouldn't help him to get into the top 10. P14 in real life is Pierre Gasly, 20 points as well, but Ocon is the one that gets the position in our point system, 1156 points. Just 9 points ahead of him in the every lap point system is Liam Lawson, moving up 2 places from real life because of this, and that's actually quite nice for him, with surprisingly his teammate joining in the normal point system. Just like Lawson, Pierre Gasly gains 2 positions because of our system, now being in P12 with 1180 points. You can see those points are very close together, so one race could mess it all up for some people. P12 in the normal point system goes to Lance Stroll, with his teammates Fernando Alonso and P11 both on 26 points. Lance Stroll is also in P11 in the every lap system with 1250. With that, we gotta move on to the top 10. Here in the top 10 you can see the points are separated by a bit more than just 20 or 50 points. In P10 in real life, with 27 points, we have Esteban Ocon. Not being so lucky in our point system because he's nowhere to be seen. P10 here goes to Isaac Hadjar, doing a very good job, managing to get a total of 1797 points. Fernando Alonso, who is also not in the top 10 in real life, is in P9. Nico Hülkenberg fits in P9, with getting a lot of points during the British Grand Prix. P8 goes to Alexander Albon in both systems, with 54 points in one of them and 2733 in the other. Antonelli fits in P7, again, both positions are for him, with Hamilton in P6, the same as before. Leclerc fits in P5 in the real life point system, but is not in P5 in our system. It's George Russell who fits in P5 with 8915 points. Nearly 1000 points ahead of him is Leclerc in P4. They've basically switched around compared to real life, but the point gap is a bit larger. Max Verstappen is in P3 in both systems as well, gaining more than 10,000 points since the start of this season. Who is leading, Piastri or Norris? Well, in real life we know that Norris is second with 275 points, just 9 points behind Oscar Piastri. In our system, that gap is a bit bigger. It's actually 800 points. Norris in second and Piastri in first. Did you expect this? Let me know in the comments down below. We still got 10 races left and there are still a lot of points up for grabs. What do you think will change before the end of the season? And should F1 use this point system instead for the 2026 season and onwards? Let me know. Don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.